Hello and welcome along. I'm Mr Cornwell and this is the next of the streamed assemblies being put together for the Petersfield School. For those that have taken the link, it's focusing on the Festival of Ramadan. So I'm going to take this through as a step-by-step piece. I've had to do a little bit of research myself for this one. It's a subject that I've not had any massive exposure to really since I was at school myself, other than the general feel for where things are. So I thought I'd take it through. We'll look at what it is, why it's deemed important, how it's celebrated, and why this is a festival or a celebration that is predominantly for the Muslim culture is actually relevant to everyone. So Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, and this year at least it runs from sunset on Thursday, April 23rd through to sunset on Saturday, May 23rd. Now, in the same way that Easter as the Christian festival changes year on year, Ramadan's dates will as well. Now, this is primarily because it's due to the lunar calendar and not the Gregorian calendar that we're used to using. So, a couple of ways that this can be picked out. There is a declaration that's put out each year by the Saudi Arabian government that states the beginning and end of the Ramadan month. Some Muslims will also use physical sightings of the moon's cycle to dictate when to begin and when to end, as it runs from the beginning of the new moon through to the end of the new moon. And others will use the predictions for this. So, as far as what it is, it's a remembrance of the month in which the Quran, the Muslim holy book, was revealed to their Prophet Muhammad. One of the nights within Ramadan is known as Laylatul Qadr, translating to the night of power, and this is the point at which the Quran was actually revealed. Now for this year that occurs on the 19th of May, and the general feel is a celebration of the revealing of the Holy Book, as well as a time to reflect and give thanks for what has been provided. So next question comes up is, how is Ramadan observed? So what happens within the festival or within the month that we're focusing on? So one of the bits that I was unaware of to begin with is that a lot of Muslims will attempt to read the Quran through in its entirety at least once. In addition to that, there are services within mosques where passages from the Quran will be read, as well as the conduction of prayers and wider Thanksgiving services. People also tend to spend time with family, friends, loved ones. They will attempt to give up bad habits, as well as looking out for those who are less fortunate or less well off than themselves. Possibly the most well-known feature with the Ramadan celebration is the fasting. So the idea is that no food is consumed between sun up and sundown. Before sun up, a meal is held, which is the suhoor, and then at the point of sundown, families will get together and will eat another meal called the iftar. So the process of fasting itself, as mentioned previously, runs from dawn to dusk. There is an expectation that all practicing adult Muslims of sound mind and body take part in this. Now, because the actual length of time, the duration that people will be expected to fast varies. So for last year, it ranged between 11 and 19 hours, depending on the place on earth that the individual were partaking. There are some exceptions. There are some people, some groups of people who are not expected to for a range of reasons. So anyone with a mental illness, children who have not yet reached adulthood, so prepubescent, anyone with a chronic, so an ongoing long-term illness, and any elderly person for whom prolonged periods without eating and drinking may not be advisable. Now, for elderly and chronically ill, instead of fasting, they are advised to feed a poor person for the day that they would have been fasting. So it's offsetting their involvement by looking out for someone less fortunate. In addition, any travellers, people who are taking part in a pilgrimage, or people who are actually ill, so short-term conditions within the month of Ramadan, are not expected to fast there and then. They're asked to defer their fasting. So one day missed within the holy month is deferred to another day at a point they're either not travelling or are healthy. Equally, women who are pregnant or have recently given birth, so are still nursing a child, or women who are menstruating, are not expected to fast for that timescale. They are again asked to defer the fasting one day for another day outside of the holy month. Now, following, in this case the 23rd of May, there will be a festival, a feast held to celebrate the breaking of fast, the end of the fasting period, and this is Eid ul-Fitr. Again, apologies for pronunciation. It's a meal held usually with large groups of family members, friends, and not only is it celebrating the end of the fasting period, but it's thanking Allah for providing the strength of character in individuals to make it through the month that they've been expected to fast. Because of the significance of this point, because of the length of time and the impact that this will have had on individuals' lives, it is seen as a huge deal. So Muslims will dress up in their finest clothes. There are gifts that are given to children, some donations to charity, and again, spending time with family. It's a very family and friend oriented focus. You've also got services that are held within mosques to celebrate and indicate the end of Ramadan, and again, passages from the Quran and prayers are held. Now, most of what I've said so far could account for Ramadan at any point throughout the past however many, potentially hundreds, thousands of years. This year, given the current situation, it's a little different. So we are, as you can tell from the streamed assemblies, in a period of social distancing. In the UK at least, places of worship have been closed, and there have to be adjustments. Now, this is going to vary from person to person. It varies from country to country as well. So within the UK, to begin with, as I said, it is a very, very family and friend oriented celebration. Obviously that can't take part this time, or at least not in person. So the group feasts, large scale services and prayers can't happen. So some places are getting around this by live streaming. The advice or the recommendation is that prayers are conducted at home, that they are live streamed from mosques to worshippers, or that people take part alone and think of friends, family, loved ones and Allah while they are doing this. Now, the interesting bit that I found, or in and above, is the way that different countries around the world are doing this, especially some of those that are perhaps not necessarily known for being flexible when it comes to certain traditions. So Saudi Arabia has shortened prayers. They're also stating that they should not be done with public attendance. Iran has asked people to avoid any collective prayers, so it's very much placing the onus on individuals and small family groups to stay at home. Egypt has banned everything outright. There are to be held no Ramadan activities, no feasts, no meals outside of the family home. Now, for those of you who are Muslim that are watching this, you will know most of what I've said. You've probably got a much better idea of it than me. You are probably practicing it from the point that you're watching this. For those of you who aren't, and maybe wondering why I feel, as a school, we feel it's important that you know about this, this is a very reflective process. The idea and the theme behind this is that you give thanks, you consider what you've got, you take time for family, friends, loved ones, you look out for those who are less fortunate than you. And as far as I'm aware, as a school and as a community, you and we have done very, very well at this. We are embracing new technology. Yes, there have been hiccups, but all the effort, all the work that you're putting into this is fantastic. The input, the support that you have given to friends, family, and to those outside of your immediate groups has been astounding. Some of the work that's been done, recognising and celebrating and looking to raise funds for the NHS, for our key workers, for those who are less fortunate, it's genuinely and hearteningly awe-inspiring. So if nothing else, take away from this, the underlying sentiment here is something that we can all get behind. We can take time to think of others. We can do something for someone else. And all that's left to be said here is thank you for watching. I hope you and your families are safe. I hope you stay safe. Take care.